Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
What if an appliance emergency didn't have to be? If your appliances suddenly decided they were done, don't stress. Best Buy has you covered with a wide variety of major appliances from trusted brands, in stock and available now. So you don't have to worry about laundry piling up, refilling the fridge, or that big dinner party you're hosting. Because Best Buy has the knowledge and expertise to get you the right appliance for your home. Learn more at bestbuy.com. Best Buy. Imagine that.
The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And we are starting a little differently this hour. My conversation with a CEO, the Chief Executive Officer of Lincoln Hospital in the Bronx. We'll talk to her in just a second. Part of the Health and Hospitals Corporation. What a great weekend. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You folks showing me nothing but love. A full house for my family in Nutley, New Jersey, Saturday at an event for special needs children and their parents and the community. And who said snow was going to stop us? I don't think so. Thank you to the lead organizer, Lisa. This woman is absolutely a rock star and just a great American. Thank you to John as well, a local businessman. He owns a print shop in the community and also what's basically an absolutely beautiful spa. Thank you to John. John is also retired law enforcement. Thank you to his daughter, Gianna, a really great speaker who has her master's degree and works with special needs children in North Carolina. She also spoke. Thank you to Hoboken Mary. Hoboken Mary is absolutely the best. Even the Nutley police director showed up and was kind enough to speak. You folks showed my family absolute love. Snow did not slow us down at all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So the Federal King Day holiday is upon us. And did you folks know, I find this very interesting, that it became a federal holiday here in the U.S. when President Ronald Reagan signed legislation on November 2nd, 1983, officially designating the third Monday in January as a day in honor of the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. So, with King Day in mind, Saturday, well, we were in Nutley, but Friday, it was a homecoming of sorts for me. My mother lived in the shadows, if you will, of Lincoln Hospital in the Bronx, right across the street. And they held their King Day celebration, which I was part of as their moderator. Did you folks know that Lincoln Hospital is home to one of the premier trauma centers in the entire country? The emergency room at Lincoln Hospital alone handles an astonishing 168,000 visits each year. In charge of Lincoln Hospital is a phenomenal leader, a phenomenal and great woman. Now, she's the chief executive officer, and her name is Cristina Contreras. And to say she has transformed obstacles into opportunity would be the understatement of the year. She's a proud Dominican woman, and she started in social work. I don't know anyone that's gone from social work to becoming a CEO, but she has done it. And she's not only led Lincoln Hospital in the Bronx, but also been the CEO of North Central and metropolitan hospitals, breaking barriers and raising standards along the way. This woman is a visionary, she's resilient, and she's the real deal, a leader whose impact is felt in every life saved and every family served. Do you feel a lot of pressure as the CEO of the hospital?
Always. You always feel pressure because it's a responsibility to represent all.
Absolutely. And it's not easy. And the buck stops with you on everything.
Absolutely. And I take every decision that I make very careful. I always make decisions based on my heart, and I try to always be fair to everyone.
How have you come this far in your career? A CEO, a woman, all of these different hospitals. How have you succeeded when, frankly, so many others fail?
Well, it's about persistence. It's about having a goal, making sure that you take all the necessary steps to obtain your goal. I didn't always dream to be a CEO. That was never in my journey. I have a background in social work, and I always wanted to serve others, help others. And, helping people there's a lot of different ways to help others. So it's not necessarily that I wanted to be a CEO, but I just completed a milestone of 30 years in healthcare.
Wow.
30 years in healthcare, and
Wow.
all I've done is serve people in different capacities. And obviously, because I work so hard and I always dedicate myself to others, I think it's a blessing, and I've been very successful. And God put me here in this capacity to be, I guess, more of an advocate and continue to represent everyone.
I speak at a lot of conferences around the country, and the audiences include social workers and so on. How does one go from social work to a CEO?
I have to tell you, I get that question a lot. And I also say, even though I'm not necessarily exercising the career as a social worker, I think that in my heart, because I'm a social worker, it makes me a better leader. I like to listen to people. I offer a lot of different spaces or forums so people can voice their concerns. I'm not shy. I don't shy away from the truth. I like to hear people's real perspective to see that I can be a more effective leader. I think being a social worker makes me a better leader. It was in my journey. You don't see a lot of social workers, CEOs.
You don't.
No, you
don't.
see nurses, you see doctors, you see other professions, CFO, business. Very rare you see a social worker become a CEO. So I'm very proud to represent all women, to represent social workers, to represent leaders out there, and to represent minorities altogether.
And so again, folks, I was part of the King Day celebration at Lincoln Hospital in the Bronx. And this is my conversation with the CEO of the hospital. Her name, Cristina Contreras. And she's a proud Dominican woman, as I mentioned, who started in social work and has not only led Lincoln, but also North Central and metropolitan hospitals. We're talking about billions of dollars. We're talking about health care for an underserved community. And I'm so proud to say she is the leader, especially in light of King Day, an opportunity for all. She's the leader, breaking barriers, and again, raising standards, which is very important to me. She's doing this along the way, and I want you to hear the second part of our conversation. At one point, this lady is such the real deal. I think you folks know I don't say something unless I mean it. She's such the real deal that when I talk about caring for the community, she literally, I notice her eyes start watering up and the tears start coming down in the middle of our interview.
I personally have a lot of connections with the community. I understand the importance of understanding the needs out there so we can adapt in the hospital and see what are the realities of what the community needs. It's not about what we wake up one day here and say, oh, the community needs this. No, we collaborate, we engage the community, we bring them into the hospital. I always refer to Lincoln as a hospital without walls because the reality is It's not about just inside. We don't make decisions. I don't make decisions by myself. I collaborate not only with the staff, the clinical leaders here, but I also collaborate with the community. Their voice have a lot of impact in the things that we do and the improvements that we make. Because I can make an improvement that I think is necessary, and guess what? The community doesn't agree with me, and they don't care. But the community is part of us, and they're part of our voices.
So you had a great turnout for your event. And for your King Day event, if you will. And what do you hope, now that it's over, what do you hope that the staff took away from hearing those diverse leaders speak at your event?
Well, it's always important for the staff to feel part of something great. They are part of something great here in this hospital. We do miracles every day.
You do.
But with this event, I hope that they felt that they're, a sense of purpose, like a refreshed sense of purpose. I want them to realize that we're not just coming to work. We're really part of something bigger and part of the historical movement, that they are part of the legacy that Dr. King wanted to create. And I think we are. A lot of people that I see in the hallways, my team, my trauma team, they're here to better everyone's life. We want good outcomes. We want the patients to feel important. They feel like this is their home. Patients come here. It is their home. They come here and we do everything possible. And I think this forum, this space, gave them a refresh sense of how much they mean to the community, strength and solidarity. I think that seeing all these leaders and the former governments in the room, I want them to feel supported. I want them to see how much we're not alone here and we're trying to do something bigger and continue the fight for the Bronx.
I have two questions and then I'm done with you, Madam CEO, because you have to get back to your busy schedule. Do you ever stop and think about, sometimes on your way into work, sometimes when you're at home, that you literally make life or death decisions every day and that the buck stops with you?
Every day. And let me tell you something. I'm a spiritual person. I'm not, I think God has blessed me more than I deserve. I'm not a religious person, but I never pray so much. I pray every day. I pray every day on my way to work because I think what we do is important.
I close this way. So you're a female CEO of a major hospital in New York City. You're a Latina. You are a history maker, whether you acknowledge that or not, in terms of starting out in social work. There's a young girl somewhere, either here in New York or listening around the country. Why are you watering up? Getting emotional?
No, because it has, it's important what we do.
Wow. And you're starting to sob a little bit, but those are tears of joy and pride.
Yes, absolutely.
Wow. You're the real deal. So what do you say, my last question, and I don't mean to get you emotional. What do you say to the young girl that might be listening to you right now that's, 10, 11, 9, 10, and here it is, you're a major CEO. What do you say to these young girls coming up?
Oh, I always try to be a mentor and a sponsor of the youth. I actually collaborated, like going back to the collaboration with the community, I collaborated with local colleges. So we have interns and I make sure that we pay them to have an experience so they don't have to choose, because when I was younger, I had to choose. You need a job and you need to do your internship. Here they can do both, right? And the reason I do that is because I like to support the youth. The youth, they need to know that we're there for them. I want them to choose careers. I want them to have choices. I want them to know that we're here to support them. And even though I'm one of the first Dominicans in this position, in a high-level position, as CEO of a hospital in the United States, I'm the first, but I shouldn't be the last. I need more. I need more people like me. I need more women, minorities, Black women to feel and to see themselves represented in this position, because I didn't see anybody like that.
So I got to tell you, folks, I wanted you to hear that, especially in light of King Day. And that's Cristina Contreras, and she's the CEO, emphasis on she, a multi-billion-dollar facility. And she's in charge of running it. She's not only run that hospital, but she's run North Central, also in the HHC system, as well as Metropolitan Hospital. So here it is King Day upon us, and somewhat of a different aspect. But the reason why I wanted to talk to this lady, she's the real deal based on results, period. And so I'm going to start with your telephone calls. We're just going to open it up. I see I have a call already from Lincoln Hospital in the Bronx. And then I'll get to some of the headlines that we are dealing with. Of course, Minneapolis. Of course, Mayor Mamdani. Yet another person disparaging liberal white women and now deleted ex-posts. We'll get to all of that. But it says here we have a Dr. Pinzer on line 1, Lincoln Hospital. Doctor, what's on your mind? Good evening.
Yes, Dominic, good to speak to you. It was great to see you on Friday. This Cristina is a superstar as a CEO. What she did to that hospital and turning it around is incredible. And just she treats the neurosurgeon from the person in maintenance the same as everyone, all God's children, and just does a terrific job. And it was good to see you again over there.
Well, thank
Friday.
you. I was a little apprehensive about walking into the hospital, and I explained this to her.
You told me because you're your mom.
Yes.
Remember,
Lincoln did a good job.
Frank's friend.
Lincoln did a good job of keeping my mother alive. But in the end, that's the hospital where she died at. And so it was a bit hard. I was scared to walk into the hospital, to be honest with you. But once I got into the lobby amongst the community, everything was fine. And as I said to the staff people, what I found remarkable about her, doctor, is she just walked into the room. She didn't have 8 executives walking in with her, to carry her bag or this and that. She's a very down to earth type person. So when you say she's turned around the hospital, what exactly do you mean?
Well, just like John Catsimatidis turned around WABC to such a positive level, I would sort of say that too. She brought it, like from my standpoint, the clinic. She's changed it 180 degrees where it's so much more patient friendly, so much more staff friendly, very efficient. And it's just a total change from what it was from before she put her boots in there. Lincoln is a good place, Tom. Yeah, I could analogize it to what John did with you guys over there and what you're doing.
And the reason why I say everybody should care about Lincoln Hospital, here's why. If you get shot in the Bronx, chances are, if you're fortunate, you're going to Lincoln, which has one of the premier trauma centers in the country. What makes the trauma center at Lincoln so special, doctor?
It's the training that they pick. I'm sorry, I said it incorrectly. It's the doctors that they pick in the trauma center. And it's people from the community, the nurses, the patient care associates, not just the doctors. Because I'm a doctor, but I believe it's a team approach, right? There's no I in team. And they pick people from the community. And they can relate to the type of population, Dominic, people that have mental health issues, which is big in the area, people that have drug addiction problems. So, and they're just very skilled, that ICU department, everything.
So,
but even the emergency room,
you may not know the answer to this, but I'm just curious before I wrap this call up with you. There's an incident in the Bronx. Let's just say cop shot, whatever person in the community shot. Does the ER team get a heads up that I don't know what you call it, a code, whatever, but a multiple shooting or a shooting victim is en route? Do the emergency room doctors get a heads up that a patient that's been shot is en route coming in?
Yeah, absolutely. They get a heads up that there's gun violence, like something like that. If a police officer is coming in, if someone else is coming in, if there's a stroke patient, they get a heads up so they're ready, prepared when they come. So you have the Army ready.
And so the emergency room doctors, they are really trained on anything and everything to be able to hand it split-second life-saving decisions.
That's correct. And Lincoln does a great job of it. That's where you want to go. And I'm sorry about your mom again, but it's a totally different facility. But well, yes.
No, the truth is, Lincoln extended her life. She was at the end of her life anyway. So it was just a matter of time. It's just that that's the facility that she passed away in. And I hadn't been in Lincoln in so many years. And I still remember, to be honest with you, Doctor, when I got the call, Super Bowl Sunday, it was just like on TV. I get there, and at the time I'm in television, and I explained this to the CEO, and people didn't understand that I was there. My mother was down to her last minutes, and people were asking me for autographs in the lobby, and I'm signing it, and I'm trying to hurry up and get in to get up there. And sure enough, I saw her eyes bandaged. It was awful. One of the worst things I've ever seen. Tubes everywhere. And then they put me in a room, and like 5 minutes later, a doctor came in and said, "I'm so sorry, Mr. Carter. Your mother's gone." I mean, it's just part of life. No. Doctor, I'll give you the final word before I move on.
I just want to say, from when I was up in the studios 4 years ago doing an interview, you look terrific, Dominic.
Thank you.
You're doing a great job, man. I was eating M&Ms up there, the candy up there that John puts, and you look terrific. Seriously.
Well, thank you.
Keep it up.
That's very. Go ahead. Even though I didn't mean to cut you off.
Keep it up. Oh, no, I want to say keep it up. You're healthy. You look terrific.
Well,
and
thank you.
What you're doing.
Thank you. And I was just so proud to be there for part of the King Day celebration. In the auditorium, you folks had the entire area at a capacity crowd. And I just think that's fantastic. Doctor, thank you very much for calling in. Greatly appreciated. And have a great day. Dominic Carter here with you folks. And Matt Blaze, before I get to the topics at hand, I'm just curious, are you afraid of emergency rooms, or you don't even think about it?
I'm not afraid of them because I was in the hospital twice in the past 2 years because I thought I was having a heart attack or something with my heart.
I forgot all about that. Oh, boy.
So when I went in there for that, I did not have a heart attack. There was nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with my heart. I had every test done. I don't know if it was some sort of just anxiety or whatever. So there's nothing physically wrong with me. I forgot
all about that.
Yeah, I did all the tests. But when I did go to the ER for that, they put you right in right away. Because, there's horror stories about the ER. Like, you go in there because you hurt your finger, you're going to be sitting there for 3 hours before they even see you.
Right.
When you come in with a heart issue,
right,
they're like, right in. They
right.
hook you right up with the EKG to make sure. And then you wait a little bit, but then, they got me a bed in the ER. The doctor comes in. They try to rule out, see what's happening. I ended up staying overnight just because the doctor couldn't be there in time to read the results. So you got to wait till the next morning for the doctor to come in.
Oh, boy.
So I'm not afraid of the ER. I'm just saying it's if you don't need to go there, absolutely, if there's something wrong, you need to go to the ER. If there is any kind of issue that you think you are having a heart attack or anything like that, you're hurt, go to the ER. But if it's like you have a little sniffle, don't go to the ER.
And these days, the insurance companies, oh boy.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy. I think we have a $500 or $600 copay just if you go to the emergency room. Now,
yeah, there's something like copay, like it's almost like you have a copay if you go to the ER, but if you get admitted, then they waive the copay.
Then they waive it.
But
right.
You got to get admitted. And
right.
You know how it is in the hospital. I'm not going to say an exact number, but let's just say it's many thousands.
Right.
For the day I spent in the hospital.
Oh, boy.
For the one day.
Oh, boy.
We have insurance and it's covered and all that, but it is not cheap. And if you go to the ER just for something minor, you're going to end up paying a lot of money for something that you could have just probably put a bandage on and I understand people get scared and you get to a certain age and you start to get worried about, oh my God, like I did. That was me. It was like, I come home.
We were worried for you. I forgot all about your incident.
Yeah, I came home early in the morning. Like I worked that night. I come home. I feel a pain. I wasn't clutching my chest. I wasn't in the worst pain ever. It was just a pain that I hadn't felt before. And I'm like, man, I'm not a young man anymore. This could be something. How many stories do you hear of
just
people don't go to the ER? Oh, it's nothing.
And boom.
And they don't go, and then they end up dying a day or two later because they didn't follow what their body was trying to tell them. So that went through my head. I go, even if it's nothing, rather be safe than sorry.
Only 2 times I can tell you, and then I'm moving on to our political topics. But first, we got to take a break. And this is going back maybe 10 years, if not longer. So at home, my daughter, we have a huge basement. And so my daughter had a big party with all of these young people and so on. And as soon as the party was over, I just wasn't feeling well. And so I was like, hon, we've got to go to the emergency room. So it's like 4 o'clock in the morning. We get to the emergency room. They're like, Mr. Carter, we're admitting you. And we're in Rockland County. They're like, we're admitting you right away. And I'm like, I won't say what the numbers were, but my blood sugar level was sky high. And, I wasn't taking care of myself at the time. Please don't tell Liz in Florida. I wasn't taking care of myself at the time and had to go the insulin route, all of that. And then the time before that, maybe 20 years prior to that, it was in the Dinkins Giuliani first race. And it was horrible for me, Blaze, as a high profile black journalist covering the race. The Dinkins people would hit me with, you a brother, you got to stand with us. The Giuliani people, David Garth, and I love Garth, he's no longer with us. He would call me up and he would curse me out in such poetic ways that I can't even begin to describe it. He would call me everything but a child of God. I mean, you boop, 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 boop. You favoring the black guy, blah, blah, blah. Next thing I know, I got to go to the emergency room. This was in Beth Israel North, up across the street from Gracie Mansion. Was still there. Next thing I know, I'm hospitalized again. Diabetes and high blood pressure. So sky high blood pressure because of Dinkins and Giuliani, because of these guys battling to be mayor.
And that's what happens. But at least you went to the hospital. You felt something was off when you had the party, and you felt something was wrong.
Right. And
you went to the hospital. And look, I'll say this. I call him my mentor, the late, great Tommy G. Same thing happened to him. He was walking up his stairs, and he said, I feel out of breath. Something's wrong. He called his doctor, and he goes, I think there's something wrong with my lungs. I feel out of breath. He goes to the doctor. They go, no. You're going to the hospital right now.
Right.
And he had triple bypass surgery.
Just like that.
Just because, and he
so
goes,
the doctor saved his life at that time.
He said if he didn't go to if he
another
didn't call
15
the doctor,
minutes, he'd have been gone.
He would have been dead the next day.
The next day.
Next
right.
day.
Wow. So, folks, the message is, if you're not feeling well, I'm not saying go to the emergency room where you're going to have a $500-600 copay, but take care of it.
If you feel that it's that serious, that you're not feeling well, and people know their bodies. They know when there's something wrong. And if you feel that way, then do not take any chances and go to the emergency room.
So, Matt, before I take this break, is it a little odd? I was just greatly impressed at Lincoln Hospital in the Bronx. I'm waiting for the CEO. I knew it was a female to walk through the door, and a woman comes walking through, and I was just like, and when we look at King Day, and I was just like, this is amazing. You have a woman that's making these billion-dollar decisions. Am I a little weird here, or do I need to get with the times?
No, I don't think it's weird. I think what is impressive about her, and I did not hear this interview before we just played it, okay? What I found impressive is, and you brought this up when she said, why are you tearing up? She was tearing up because she really cares.
Right.
And the fact that she said really that we're paying our interns, because when I went through this, I had to choose between an internship and getting a job, and she knows that the troubles or what the difficulties that young people are going through at that age when they want to be doctors, but they have another job. And she goes, no, we're going to make it easy. We're going to pay you to be an intern. And you could tell in her voice, this woman cares about people and about the hospital.
I got a little nervous because I don't know what it is about my career, but I have a track record of making politicians cry. And her eyes just started becoming watery, and then the tears started coming down. I'm like, oh, no, here we go again. Did I just say something to offend this woman? But she wasn't offended. To your point, there were tears of joy. We've got to take a break. When we come back, we're going hard and heavy into the politics. Stay with us.
The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And folks, you know who I've had it with? I'm going to tell you in 1 second. We see all your calls coming in right now. 800-848-9222. I am so sick of the Hollywood types, and I'm so sick of Bruce Springsteen. He may make great music, but dude, your politics to the far, 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 far left are just a bit too much to stomach. So what's his latest topic? Bruce Springsteen. He's teeing off on what happened in Minneapolis using curse words. And Bruce, stick to the music, man. Leave the politics to the professionals.
They should get the out of Minneapolis. If you believe in the power of the law and that no one stands above it, if you stand against heavily armed, masked federal troops invading an American city and using Gestapo tactics against our fellow citizens, if you believe you don't deserve to be murdered for exercising your American right to protest, and send a message to this president, and as the mayor of that city has said, ICE should get out of Minneapolis. Well, this song is for you, and in the memory of the mother of three, an American citizen, Renee Good. Thank you.
And so, Bruce Springsteen, that doesn't help the situation. All it's going to do is inflame the situation of what is occurring in Minneapolis. You're not helping the situation. You are hurting the situation. Dominic Carter here with you folks, 800-848-9222. On the Sunday morning shows, to show you how warped things are. What did they want to talk about on some of the Sunday morning shows, Margaret Brennan and so on? They want to know the ICE agent that was forced to defend himself and use deadly force. The media is now on this mission to try and make sure that he's either suspended or disciplined. This was a question that Secretary Kristi Noem was forced to answer.
Do I understand you saying that the Office of Professional Responsibility is doing its own probe to determine that the ICE agent violated protocol and that he was on 3 days of administrative leave, because that is what is in the handbook?
The protocol and the advice and the guidance within that handbook and within our policies is being followed exactly like it has been for years.
Okay, so there is some review of his actions, is what I understand you saying there.
Remember, there always is. Every law enforcement officer knows that. When they take the oath to step up and to protect the public and put their lives on the line, they absolutely know that everything that they do will be analyzed and investigated. But also what I don't think they realized until just recently is how the liberals and the Democrats and the media would attack them and try to ruin their lives for doing what's right. And we're seeing in Minneapolis an unprecedented fraud history going on by elected leaders and individuals in that state, but also criminal activity, and it's being allowed to happen. When we did these operations in other cities across the country, we didn't see this kind of violence. We didn't see organized, funded protesters come in to conduct acts of violence against our law enforcement officers like we're seeing in Minneapolis. The elected leaders and Mayor Frey is allowing that to happen and allowing this kind of violence to happen when we didn't see it in Louisiana, we didn't see it in Florida, we didn't see it in other cities.
We will talk to Frey about what's happening
and we
in
shouldn't
his
have
city.
to be watching it here in Minneapolis.
But we have heard...
And so the media is now trying to make sure that this officer is disciplined when he did nothing wrong. Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, of course, inflaming the situation, not making it any better.
The one place where we thought we would never experience this is the U.S. goddamn states.
My response to you, I can't wait until you're in cuffs and escorted out of the country. Mayor Frey of Minneapolis, of course, Democrat mayor, he's not making anything better either.
The second these ICE agents leave the city, I'm telling you, you're going to have calm in Minneapolis, and you will continue to see the great comeback that we had been experiencing. Let us get back to that comeback. Let us live in peace. Let us have businesses that are open and daycares where you don't need to escort staff to and from. Let us live in a place where, look, in Minneapolis, we'll stand up. If we have to sled down ice hills to get to a protest, we'll do that. If we've got to make sure that people are escorted to the grocery store, we'll do that. But truthfully, we want to get back to a place where we can just love on our city, do our daily activities, just like any other town in America.
And so get back to normal, Mr. Mayor. Does that mean get back to $9 billion in taxpayer dollars? Poof. Nobody knows anything? Is that how you define get back to normal? I don't think so, Mr. Mayor. Line 4, Michael in New Jersey. Michael, what's on your mind?
Yeah, you were 100,000% correct when you told people, other listeners, that they should give Trump a chance as far as handling these crazy people who are attacking the ICE agents. You said Trump takes his time, analyzes a problem, thinks out the entire problem, and solves it. See, Trump realized two things. Number one, if you're going to activate ICE agents, you don't want to activate them from the state that you're going to send them into, because then the people who are there, the National Guardsmen, may feel awkward having to go after their own people. So you want to take National Guardsmen from another state. That anybody would realize. But what most people, only you, would think of this, and Trump, what nobody realizes, Trump said to himself, I can take people from another state, but Minnesota is a very, very cold state. And if I put people there, they're not going to be able to protect the ICE agents because they're going to be freezing their rear ends off. And the first thing they'll look to do is to run into some place where it's warm. I have to take people that can deal with the cold. This is a genius. Where did he activate the people from? From a state where there's no problem with that. He went to the governor of the state and told him, listen, keep your mouth shut and don't tell them that I'm activating your National Guardsmen, because I don't want anybody to know until they get here. And where did they come from? Alaska. He took the National Guardsmen from Alaska, flew them in, and once he got them here, then he said, I activated the National Guardsmen. And they said, where did you take them from? And he said, Alaska. It's a genius. These National Guardsmen have no problem at all being in temperature that's 15 degrees or 10 degrees. Correct. Because they're coming from a state where it goes down to 25 below and with a wind chill factor of 40 below. So they can hang out with the ICE agents 10, 12, 14 hours a day, and they don't run inside and hide because of the cold weather. They can protect them. You were right. The people didn't know what Trump was thinking or everything that's behind the scene. But you figured it out. Michael,
it's not me with anything. To be honest with you, it's common sense that you're articulating. Everybody's like, now.
I wouldn't have thought of it.
No, but what I'm saying is the president of the United States doesn't have that luxury. It's a game of chess. And he has to make moves to get in place before he does something. So this president is on top of everything. You just have to give him the opportunity. Michael, thank you for the wonderful and great call there. Thank you. Let's go to Pete, line 1, Staten Island. Pete, what's on your mind?
Dominic, 100%. I think Donald Trump, his mind is always working. He's always got the art of the game, figuring this out. To get those guys from Alaska that could deal with the cold, it's really important. But what I did call you about was is you're talking about heart attacks. I carry aspirin, stool softener, and Benadryl with me wherever I go, because the first thing a good cardiologist tells you is if you feel a chest pain, take aspirin and take a stool softener, because we don't realize a lot of people, their final day is on the toilet, because we use muscles when we move our bowels that we really don't even realize how strong it is, and that you could actually save your life. The Benadryl in case allergic reaction, You could get allergic reaction overnight. Even if you, let's say, strawberries or something, you could be eating them for all your life, and all of a sudden you could become allergic. Same thing, poison ivy, so many things. These are things that I've been doing for years, and with my medical problems that I had, I'm probably alive because I did it. I got a little pain, I took an aspirin, and it's a little softer. So that's my advice.
Normally, I hear you, Pete, and thank you for the great call. To be honest with you, normally I would go too much information. However, Pete is 1,000% correct, Matt Blaze, and to everybody else, because I know a producer I used to work with in television. I feel bad for him. I won't say his name. His father died while on the toilet, literally died on the toilet. So Pete is 1,000% correct. Are you surprised there, Matt Blaze?
No, I know what happens. It's just, I don't like the visual.
Oh, just too much information.
Yeah, But look, it's life. It's a part of reality and life and things that we all go through, and we have to talk about it because it could save somebody's life.
Got to talk about it because we might be about it. It is time for a break. Pete, thank you very much. Thank you, Matt Blaze. Again, normally I would go too much information, but Pete is 1,000% correct.
The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And we are back. Let's return to your telephone calls. Anthony, line 2 in Pittsburgh. Anthony, what's on your mind?
Don Lemon is not a journalist. Don Lemon is an activist. Don Lemon is a punk little female dog, in other words we can't say on the radio. For him to barge into that church and say it's First Amendment, no, you can't go into a house of worship protesting.
Well, as far as Don Lemon is continuing to have a nervous breakdown that he's no longer on TV, on CNN, and he's always wanted to be a star, but he's never going to be a star because, frankly, he doesn't have the intellect nor the talent. It really is that simple. I'll be playing at the top of the hour, Anthony, how that pastor put Mr. Lemon in his place. And then the question becomes, Anthony, because I'm not new to the game. How did Don Lemon know to go inside that church? How did he know?
When I saw that, I was like, no, wait a minute. Is he part of this group of protesters?
Of course he is. How did he know? How did he get the information to go inside with them? How did he know? Of course he is.
Imagine, just for fantasy's sake, imagine you were a big anti-Israel guy. And
not going to happen. Not going to happen. You got to come up with another analogy. But no, I understand. I'll play along with your analogy. But I'm a huge Israel guy, so that's not a good. But go ahead.
And we marched into a synagogue protest. We'd be arrested.
Right. But
it's just unbelievable.
You can get away. You can get away with these things in Minneapolis because they have a far left governor that apparently is trying to stay out of jail. Stay out of an indictment, but the indictment, if it's going to come, it's going to come. And Mayor Frey of the city, poor Mayor Frey, he's so busy kissing the backside of the Somalian community that he doesn't know if he's coming or going. And it's an absolute outrage. We'll be playing what Don Lemon had to say in just minutes, as well as the pastor that put him in his place. Anthony, thank you for the call. Sandra, line 4, New Jersey. What's on your mind, Sandra?
Well, I bet you had a great weekend and you deserved every minute of all of it, Dominic. I was thinking about you this weekend, so I wanted to say that.
Thank you.
You're
it was
welcome.
snowing, but in Nutley, Sandra, there are people like you, Liz, in Florida, in this case, Lisa and John. John owns in Nutley, New Jersey. And by the way, I'm going to give you your say, but I didn't know that Nutley is a nice little community. I've been there now twice.
Oh, yeah.
And I just didn't know, but I guess because I'm not a New Jersey guy. The only thing I know about New Jersey is when I'm going to cover a federal trial at the federal courthouse in downtown Newark. In Newark,
Yeah.
I'm sorry to our Newark listeners, but ill. Anyway, Sandra, go ahead.
Okay. So we see what's happening in Minneapolis, and I'm afraid it's going to happen here, Dominic. I read over the weekend here that the socialist group, they have recruited 4,000 people in their New York City chapter to learn how to obstruct the feds. They have a hotline, an ICE hotline, and they are organizing, asking for a lot of money from all the people, 2 hours long. So what I'm saying is they have a judge in California that bans the police from using powerful, non-lethal weapons. And then we have, on the other side, seeing what's happening here, and we're going to start having in New York what they had there. Then I read that Donald Trump is not ready to have the Insurrection Act. So I'm concerned, and I had a friend who was in the city the other day, and he told me, Sandra, I was afraid. They were protesting, and I really felt frightened. So all these people at this chapter, 200 are members, 200 are non-members, and they have a training a bunch of people. I don't know, Dominic. What do you think?
My honest opinion?
Yeah.
My honest opinion is this. You need to have the K-9 units standing by on location. And I'm sorry, the officer fell, and the dog, the leash fell out of the officer's hand, and I'm sorry the dog bit 15 protesters, but the officer fell, It wasn't the officer's fault. It wasn't the officer's fault. He just tripped on ice, just like they do in Minneapolis. They slip and fall on the ice, and the officer was holding the dog, and the dog was calm.
God.
The K-9 dog was calm until the officer fell and lost control of the leash, the leash, and we apologize that he bit 15 to 17 people. We're so sorry that the German Shepherd did that. We're sorry.
Oh, Dominic, that's too much. I didn't know that.
But Sandra, there'd be a million lawsuits. They're looking for a reason to have lawsuits anyway, because they all want to get paid. But we've got to put an end to all of this stuff because it's getting ridiculous. Thank you, Sandra, for the great call. Thank you. Great folks like Sandra, Lisa in New Jersey, in Nutley, John, the people that organized the event. The snow did not stop them at all. My son said to me, he says, Dad, I want to speak. I said, Dominic, are you sure? Yes, Dad, I want to speak. And he held his own. And Gianna, who's John's daughter, John has a couple of businesses in Nutley. We have to support our own folks. It really is that simple. He has a print shop. He has a spa shop. And Lisa, this woman, I've never met someone like her. Most people that you get involved with, to be honest with you folks, they want to know what's in it for them. What's their cut? How are they going to get something? As you're shaking your head, Matt Blaze. Yes, they do want to know. Lisa, she's just not cut like that. She's not cut like that. Let's go here. Let's see. Let's go to Mark in Kentucky, line 5. Mark, what's on your mind?
Hi, Dominic. I'm going to make this quick. The Hollywood stars treat us like idiots. And I'm appalled. Anybody that speaks about politics that's supposed to be basketball or sings or acts, I don't pay attention to them anymore.
That's right, I hear you.
The next
I
thing
hear
I
you,
want
Mark.
to tell you sent a package to my mother-in-law. My wife ordered it over Christmas. My wife is related to June Carter. You put everything in there. You put the shirt that's we asked for and everything else.
But you see,
and
but
so
Mark,
happy.
but you're giving away my secret. I don't tell people that when they order things that from a position of love that I include so many other items in there. So you're giving away my secret, Mark. But did she enjoy it? Did she enjoy
You're
it?
amazing. You're amazing. You don't have time. But let me tell you something. We listen to you every night. We can't call every night. But my wife just dotes and proud of you or what you say and how you do it and how you take positions. We love you. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Mark in Kentucky. Mark, giving away my secrets that when you order things, I include extra things in it where you're not supposed to kiss and tell. Mark, we're not supposed to give it away. We're not supposed to give it away. Got to tell you, folks, hour number 2 is coming up. We're going to deal with Cuckoo, Don Lemon, and many other topics. 800-848-9222.
The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
The Trump administration, as it relates to the bombings of the narco terrorists. So those on the far left have said it's not legal, doesn't make a difference. How do you know drugs were on the boat? I said as soon as I heard about it that I thought it was absolutely the right thing to do. I want to hear from you folks this hour, 800-848-9222, as we have a bunch of topics. But I want you to listen to this emergency room doctor announcing that as it relates to fentanyl, it's gone from 10 to 13 overdose cases he would see per day down to 1 to 2. And what does he attribute this to? The Trump administration closing the borders. This doctor says it has made America safer.
I will tell you something that I haven't said publicly yet, and it deserves to be said. We were seeing 10 to 12 overdoses a day, and we are seeing maybe 1 or 2. Sometimes we go 3 days without seeing an overdose of fentanyl. So closing our borders and doing the things that he is doing, I am 100% behind. It really has made America better in the healthcare system, in the war against drugs.
Is it being replaced by any sort of drug? Are you seeing more of another sort of overdose? Is there some, like, because I'm thinking, the cartel isn't just going to give up, right? So is there a drug that they're able to get to the streets easier now that the border's closed and he's blowing up ships? So what are you seeing?
Well, methamphetamines is always easier to make here.
Yeah.
And we have seen maybe a slight increase in methamphetamines, but the significant drop in fentanyl overdoses is the most significant thing.
And so again, the overdose cases, at least as far as this doctor is concerned, are down. 800-848-9222. Dominic Carter here with you. We see your calls coming in. We're going to get to Norman in Brooklyn, Linda in New Jersey amongst the calls. Again, 800-848-9222. The Department of Justice, bravo, bravo, bravo. They are investigating Renee Nicole Good's widow, her wife, for impending ICE agents before the fatal shooting. A report that they are now investigating her. Don Lemon, this clown, he just can't take it that he's not on TV anymore. He was never talented, doesn't have any talent. You want to talk about an affirmative action hire, he's it. And Don Lemon is part of the group, apparently somehow, that as soon as he hit the ground in Minneapolis, Minnesota, the part of the mob that stormed a church during worship to target a pastor that they say have ICE ties. So the pastor, if you believe what they're saying, may have ties to ICE, and they think that that's a legitimate reason to storm into the church. Don Lemon called himself interviewing the pastor, and let's just say it didn't go too well for Don Lemon.
This is unacceptable. It's shameful. It's shameful to interrupt a public gathering of Christians in worship.
But there were folks who will say,
I have to take care of my flock.
Okay, but listen, we live there's a constitution in the First Amendment to freedom of speech and freedom to assemble and protest.
We're here to worship. We're here to worship Jesus because that's the hope of these cities. That's the hope of the world is Jesus Christ.
I want to be very respectful. Please don't push me, though.
We're here to worship Jesus. Yes. That's why we're here. Yes. Okay, that's why we're here. Okay. That's what we're about.
Don't you think Jesus would be understanding
we're about
and love these folks?
We're about spreading the love of Jesus.
But did you try to talk to them as a Christian?
No one is willing to talk.
Okay.
I have to take care of my church and my family, so I asked if you actually would also leave this building.
You don't want us to chronicle what happened?
Unless you're here to worship.
I'm always worship. I'm a Christian.
We're here to worship. We're here to worship. Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're a phony, Don Lemon. And he said, don't push me. Don Lemon was up on the pastor. Folks, all you have to do is listen to the pastor's comments. He basically said 3 times, leave me alone, let me get back to my congregation. And Don Lemon kept going. I did not see, I'm not saying it didn't happen. I did not see on the video where the pastor pushes Don Lemon. I see Don Lemon always trying to create a scene where no story can happen unless he's dead center. Sorry, Don Lemon, your 15 minutes were up ago when CNN said, bye-bye, you're the weakest link. Norman, line 3 in Brooklyn. What's on your mind, Norman?
Yeah, hi, Dominic. It was Bruce Springsteen. Bruce Springsteen is a musical genius, okay? There's no doubt. I mean, Born to Run, one of the greatest albums of all time. However, look, I'm friends with I don't want to give him up, but he's a renowned movie critic. He's interviewed Bruce Springsteen. I respect and trust him, and my friend's vocabulary is off the chart. So anyway, he said that the buzz on Bruce Springsteen is he's really stupid. So I believe that. I mean, but at least to his credit, being say making anti-American, anti-ICE, anti-whatever statements, at least he's an American. Okay, I remember what was it? Oh my God, Neil Young, Canadian. Okay, making comments against George Bush at concerts, just like Springsteen is doing. Saying how inappropriate. Could you imagine an American artist in Canada making a statement against the Canadian Prime Minister? No. I mean, and then, okay, I also don't trust American artists who, who like to air American laundry, dirty laundry, whatever it is, out in other countries. Like, the guy from Green Day? He goes he does concerts in Britain and makes statements against Donald Trump in America. It's very low. It's very shifty. It's very low. If you're going to make a statement against America and you're a performer, do it in America. Don't go to other countries. I think people in other countries are smarter than that. And they realize what a shifty human being is coming to their country and making statements against his country. So
I just wish, Norman, that their money would dry up. If you want to do something like that, fine. You have a First Amendment right to do so, but the American people have a right to make sure that your concert tickets and so on dry up. I don't know Bruce Springsteen. I don't know if he's a smart man, if he's not a smart man. He doesn't look like a smart man, to be honest with you. I know that sounds a bit unfair, considering I don't know him. But I can stick to the music, man. We like your music, not interested in your politics. Norman, you have the final word.
Yeah, no, I say that for performers. I say that for athletes. I mean, shut up and dribble. I mean, that's pretty much it. I just think, the public is paying to be entertained. We're not paying for your political views. It's not to say that you're not entitled to those political views, and if you wish to say them when you're not either doing your sport or performing, singing a song, okay. But to do it at a concert, this is inexcusable. I mean, this is absolutely inappropriate, and that's it. My thoughts.
Norman, I hear you. I agree with you. It's inappropriate. And, on the tail end, as you were speaking, and I'm not going to give you the opportunity to do so. I'm like, please, Norman, don't go to any alligator stories. But, Norman, thank you. Thank you very much for the call. Let's go to Linda, line 1 in New Jersey. Linda, what's on your mind?
Hi, Dominic. I'd like to say, speaking of laxatives, I saw Mayor Frey eating a pile of Somali food, so he's apt to do anything.
Right. He wants to pretend like he's Somalian himself.
Yeah, he's speaking Somalian, so I think he forgot he's an American.
No, wait, you said he was also speaking Somalian?
Yes. Yeah, he's speaking in Somalia. Whatever you put, it's Somalian. Yeah, he's speaking their language.
So I wonder if ultimately he's indicted, I wonder if he'll plead not guilty in Somali. I mean, I don't get it. The last time I checked, Linda, he's the mayor of a major American city. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know. You know what? Maybe if I lived in Minnesota, maybe I would see it differently. But I'm being diplomatic here because, Linda, I wouldn't see it differently. I would say you're here on this is foreign land to you. You can pretend that you're an American, but you're not. And you're not entitled to the same services that Americans get. I don't understand. Whatever happened to that, Linda? That's why one of the reasons why I support this president. Whatever happened to America first? Whatever happened to that? This president is bringing it back. But under the Biden administration, what happened to America first? Linda, thank you. Go ahead.
Pledge Allegiance. The Pledge Allegiance.
Yes, that too.
They got to bring it back. They do.
If you want to know why all these kids are running around acting wild, it starts with that.
Absolutely.
It starts with that, and no discipline, no nothing, But I almost said it's become the American way, but it shouldn't be the American way. Linda, thank you for the great call. Pamela in New Jersey, line 2. Pamela, what's on your mind?
Hey, I like how these reporters in Springsteen act all macho and disparage ICE and the United States. When my family knew boys who died in Vietnam, they were the real macho, and Springsteen got out of Vietnam through God knows connections, and he grew his career during that period. And he uses that time
Linda,
now to put
I love your
down.
Linda, I love your comments, but your phone is clicking every 3 seconds. I don't know what's wrong with the phone. Let's try Linda one more time. Let's see if it gets any better. Pamela, excuse me, Pamela, I'm sorry. Pamela, there's a huge click on your phone. I don't know. Let me try and make your comment brief because it keeps clicking, Pamela. Go ahead.
Okay, all right. I like how these reporters in Springsteen act all macho and putting down America when Springsteen got out of Vietnam, and he grew his career during that period while we knew boys who died in Vietnam. And these reporters act all tough about ICE and everything. And what are they doing? What are they doing to improve America?
Phonies. That's what it's called, Pamela. Phonies. Pamela, thank you for the call. I don't know what happened with your phone there. The number to reach us right now live, 800-848-9222. That's from the around the country. Dominic Carter here with you folks. We are coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
In Minnesota, some lawmakers are talking impeachment for Governor Walz. We'll deal with that a bit later. But right now, back to your telephone calls. Sherman, line 2, Manhattan. Good morning, Sherman. What's on your mind?
Good morning to you, too, and your outstanding show, as usual. I don't even think Bruce Springsteen is worth even saying his music is good, to separate him from his music. These people are, in my opinion, it's always my opinion, and thank you for allowing me to have it on your show. They are like double agents. They are almost to the equivalent. They're like communists. They are, you have these stupid, idiot people that define him totally just by his music, but they won't separate this disrespectful, seditious. I mean, this is seditious talk, meaning like this is what riles up people to try to assassinate the president. Because you have a lot of mentally ill.
Absolutely.
You have a lot of mentally ill people that go to these concerts. Some of them are mentally ill people. Again, it's not the crazy guy on the subway with no shoes on. That's mental illness too. But you got people that have jobs and have nice homes and they drive a car and they're mentally ill too. They're walking time bombs. And all they need is somebody that they worship, because these are empty, especially liberals. Liberalism is a mental illness. They always are doing things that are against their own interests. They're suicidal, literally and figuratively, with the policies they support. They will listen and they'll worship, since they don't believe in serious spirituality, Buddhism, Hinduism, meditation, or real reasonable religion, not extreme. So they take these celebrities and these singers and they idolize them and turn them into their god. And anything they say, they'll take it literally. And this is how it happens. And so Bruce Springsteen is probably aware of that. You know, these people, same thing with Robert De Niro. Sure, his movies were great 20, 30 years ago. But Robert, and just again, this is my opinion, Robert De Niro comes across as a punk. He won't throw, rice at his own wedding. He won't bust a grape at a fruit factory. I mean, but he comes across talking about Trump as if, Trump is so terrible. Robert De Niro is rich, playing psychopath, sociopath, and mafia guy. So why do I respect Robert De Niro? Why do I care if he's a great actor? Bruce Springsteen makes some songs, period. That's it. That is not going to, in the end, in the scheme of life, Donald Trump is one of the most successful businessmen in America, in American history. And I don't understand why people have such a hard on against him, especially this caller whose name I won't mention, who's always he is so outdated. His talking style is so offensive and condescending and sanctimonious, this guy from Yonkers. And he's always saying this disgusting thing about Donald Trump is kissing so-and-so, took his kiss. Like, seriously? That's offensive to me as a person who respects President Trump. As a New Yorker, I find that offensive that you're saying that this man, this heterosexual married man, you're saying he's kissing another man's butt. That's like a homosexual thing he's trying to say. And you may not see it that way, but it's offensive. If somebody said that about his father, he'd be ready to fight, I assume, Teddy. I would be ready to fight if somebody said that about my father.
And I agree with you. Let me ask you this. So the Department of Justice is apparently investigating Renee Good's widow, her wife, for impeding ICE agents before the fatal shooting. What do you make of that?
I find it to be a reasonable, again, reason and logic is what runs me. I think it's a reasonable thing to do. Again, this unfortunate woman is dead. She's creating all this stress and drama for her family because she decided to act like she was a man and get up in this guy's face and be aggressive and provocative instead of minding her business. Oh, look at me. I'm a white, lesbian, liberal woman, and I'm supporting somebody in the country illegally that they're trying to deport. Instead of saying, let me mind my business, let me find out what the facts are. She was acting like they were trying to arrest her own wife or her child. You see? So nobody wants to talk the truth. We all want to play this game. Again, say again, sir?
No, I said you're right. You're right. I got to take a break, Sherman. I thank you for the great call. And nobody wants to be honest. Now she and her wife are victims. No, you led to your wife being killed, and the Department of Justice should be investigating you, should be charging you. We are coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
And we are back. I don't know, Matt Blaze, I don't know about this Mamdani guy. I just don't know about him. And the reason why I don't know is his chief equity officer that he just announced. This guy has a knack for picking these winners. And of course, I'm being sarcastic here. Disparaging liberal white women in now deleted X posts. So his new chief equity officer making comments that are not nice about white women in numerous posts on X, shortly before the deleted count. She deleted the count, I think, a month ago. And this is shortly before her appointment. And Mamdani, we had one aide that lasted, a high appointed aide that lasted 24 hours. Hey, is this guy, everywhere I go, I won't say where, but in political circles, they say this guy is a joke, that the city's in trouble. You think this guy might be a good mayor?
You always want to say to give somebody a chance just because they are the mayor of New York. You don't want them to fail. For some reason, and I know that if you didn't vote for that person, you don't like them. But that happens in every single election, no matter what it's for. There's going to be a winner and there's going to be a loser. And a lot of people didn't vote for the winner, right? Your candidate might have lost. So I don't understand. I never understand the thought process of wanting the person to fail, because if he fails, we fail. It affects us. So I always like to, no matter who it is, I say, you know what? They won the election. Let's do the best we can. Let's see what they're going to do. And if they do something wrong, they deserve every criticism in the world. Now, when you pick somebody that resigned within 24 hours, now you're picking somebody else who had to delete a Twitter account. Who are these people that you're picking, and why?
Cuckoo.
Why are you
Socialists.
Why aren't you doing a background check on these people to know? You have to understand, and you know how this is. They're going to look into every little thing you've ever done for like the past 10 years. So you better have, look, nobody's squeaky clean, but if you got anything that's major, especially if it comes back that it's some sort of racism or anti-Semitism or something like that, that person needs to be disqualified and move on to somebody else.
Right, but he's got all of his socialist friends that he's promised jobs. Hey, let me tell you this, and folks, you won't understand this unless you've ever owned a pet. So Catherine Trunk, her birthday was 20 days ago, give or take. And she just put on Twitter, and I feel so bad, Catherine. She says, my beloved cat, Ginger, passed on tonight. She was my mother and my constant companion, loyal, sweet, almost 19 years old cat who was with them in their daily activities and so on. Can you understand, Matt Plate? I mean, I know you can, because you have a dog, but I have a cat at home, and Beyonce has been with us. I mean, we lost Dolce, our dog, and they were together. And, right in the bedroom, we have Dolce's ashes. I love Dolce more than I love most family members, to be honest with you. How do you feel about pets?
I've gone through this a few times in my life where I've lost a pet, or they had to be put to sleep. It gets to be that time. And the first time when I was a kid, I was, 8 or 9 years old. The dog was older than me. My parents had the dog before I was born. So I remember my dad telling me at that age that he's going to be put to sleep. And I said, what does that mean? I said, well, he's old and you don't want him to suffer. So he's going to die, but he's going to be peaceful. And I'll never forget, I knew when it was happening, but the next morning when I woke up, the dog used to always lay on the floor besides my mother's side of the bed. And I remember going around, even though I knew that he was gone, thinking he was going to be there. And of course he wasn't there. And I went back to my room, cried. And that was the lesson as an 8-year-old. Fast forward to now, I'd put down a dog a few years ago. It's never easy. They become a part of you. They become a part of your family. I've always said that these are my animals. If the doctor came to me and said it's going to cost you $7,000,
you find a way to come up with the money.
You got to do what you got to do. But I understand the loss, and it's tough. And I know other people that have gone through the same thing. I know people that, like, I just got another dog. It was 1.5 years. But I know people that will never get another dog again.
That's where I stand right now, and I'm close to coming around. But, what Marley and Me? What was the name of that Hollywood movie?
Yeah, Marley and Me.
He's got to put the dog to sleep, and the dog was so wild and so on as a puppy. So the call came that it was time to put Dolce to sleep, and I didn't want to be there. But I felt that if anybody had to be there for comfort for him, because he had been so loyal to me that I had to be there. Man, that was one of the worst days of my life. I've never cried so much. I was embarrassed the way those people saw me crying. I was devastated. And I still haven't gotten over it.
It's if you haven't gone through this, I don't even want to explain it because it's tough. That's all I'm going to say. They put the dog to sleep. They basically give it an overdose of whatever the drug is that would put you under for surgery. The dog ODs, the animal ODs.
But it's peaceful.
And it is peaceful. But there's just a moment when they're there and then they're not. And it's a very tough moment to go.
Just like that, they're gone.
Yep.
Just like that.
And I've seen it more than once in my life, and every time it was tough.
Matt Blaze, thank you. And again, Catherine Trunk, I'm sorry to you and your mom that you lost your cat, but your cat is in cat heaven in a better place, and there'll be another time when you'll see your cat again, and hopefully everything will be wonderful. I want to go back to your telephone calls, 800-848-9222. Let's go to Dave, Orange County, New York, line 1. Dave, what's on your mind?
Hi, I just want to thank you for being such a stand-up guy, and I just listened to that about the dog. We just put our dog down.
I'm sorry to hear that.
It's a horrible thing to do, but you know what? He's in peace now.
Right, absolutely.
But I want to thank you for being just truthful. I listen to you all the time. And I just want to it brings tears to my eyes. Just the compassion.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. I feel your pain, man, and that's what Catherine and her mom are going through right now. It's tough. Let's go to line 3, Lauren in New Jersey. Good morning, Lauren. What's on your mind?
Oh, good morning, Dominic. To Catherine and Dave and to anyone else who has had to help their pet go to heaven, where there is no more suffering. And rest assured, we will see our beloved darlings, our fur babies again, or our feathered friends again. We will all be reunited one day, and it'll just be a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful time. And I'd like to reinforce what Dave said. Dominic, you are just so decent and so. You, like my father used to say, you tell it like it is. And you're so right when you call out these Dems as being the total hypocrites that they are. People like Springsteen, number one, all these entertainers are surrounded by their own personal security, because they can afford it. So they have all this personal security. And if there was a problem, who would they want there immediately? The police? Security, and a lot of these entertainers, speaking of Bruce Springsteen, they have their property classified as farmland, so they don't have to pay taxes like, all of us, right?
Of course.
And this Beyonce, rather than bringing people together and being a real role model, and she's now saying she's only going to perform in blue states. Well, good for you, Beyonce, but too bad you're not using your position and your stage to build up, especially young people, and fight against sex trafficking and the horrors that children are going through. And again, all these entertainers, if there was a problem caused by these illegals, because that's what they are, who would they want there, Dominic? Right? Who would they want there? But they're hypocrites.
Total hypocrites and phonies. I want to ask you a question, Lauren, before I move on to the next call. What does it say? So we all know for King Day, it took a long time for it to become a national holiday. It was a divisive issue, polarizing issue, blah, 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 blah. But, so here we are on King Day, and it was President Ronald Reagan, a Republican, who signed legislation November 2nd, 1983, designating the third Monday in January as a day to honor the legacy of Dr. King. So what I'm trying to get to is this, right? You know, all of this political divide, partisan divide, and it was a Republican that brought this national holiday for a black man. What does that say about these phony Democrats?
Well, it just reinforces, and so many people don't know, that it was the Democrats who were for slavery. It was Joe Biden who spoke at, what was his name, who was the grand poobah of the Ku Klux Klan. So, they're, total hypocrites. And unfortunately, you know, people, Sherman says a lot, you know, people don't know their history. They don't. And they don't realize that the Democrats have just been trying to keep certain people down. And like you say, you know, you got to come out of the, what's your expression? Get out of the,
I got a lot of them, so I don't know which one it is, Lauren. But I want to thank you for the wonderful call. Thank you so much, and have a great day. And let's go to Judith, line 5 in Brooklyn. Judith, last time I spoke to you, you got emotional, so hopefully you're feeling, you were talking about your grandson. And at this event in Nutley, New Jersey that I was at on Saturday, as it relates to special needs children, a number of people, they heard you and they were concerned about you. You're okay?
I'm fine. I just got there's certain thing. Thank you so much. You should know one of my grandsons. I have a bunch of grandchildren. You should know. One of them, he heard me and he called me right away, and I said, "Oh, don't tell me you heard me crying." He said, "I cried with you." That's what he said to me. I cried with you, because he knows. They used to play together, the two of them, but the other one is legally blind, a lot of stuff. You know something? Thank you, Dominic. You know something? I just want to share something, because I told someone, and I want to share with you. You know, President Trump, no matter what he does, he's always blamed for everything and anything. He can do no right? He may as well just do what he needs to do. And I want to see him double down and triple down and flood Minnesota with all the ice agents they could find, okay? We cannot let these people win, okay? Law and order has to prevail. And I really, really want to see that. Do you know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying. I think you know, Judith, when I think someone's stating something that doesn't make sense, I will let them have their say, but I will interfere. I agree. I concur exactly with the same exact point you just articulated. You want to make life hard for one ICE agent? Well, let's send in 1,000 more. Let's send in 2,000 more. Let's hire some more and send them in as well.
Right, Dominic. I saw that you had a few agents, and all of a sudden you had this mob, these useful idiots, these cuckoos, and there were a mob of them, and they basically had to retreat into this white van. I don't want to see that. I want to see as many people out there, agents as many, flood them in there and show them who's the boss around here. This is terrible. Also, Sherman was on fire tonight, and it's interesting that when I heard about Bruce Springsteen, I also thought about Robert De Niro. They're in the same boat, these two. They're the same two jerks, okay? And one's an actor. He's a washed-up actor. But the other one's Springsteen. Do you know he's overrated? He sounds like an old lady. Listen to him. He sounds like an old lady.
I hear you, Judith. Thank you for the great call. I'm late for a break, which I have to take now. We are coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
Looking at my Twitter, at Dominic TV, Jerry writes, as it relates to losing a pet, "Hey, Dominic, when I put my dog Natasha to sleep. She was in my arms when the doctor put the needle in, except for when my mom died. By far the worst moment in my life. And let's not talk about the crying. To have a pet is to understand exactly what Jerry just said. Let's go back to your telephone calls. Jerry in Manhattan, line 3. Jerry, what's on your mind?
Hi, Dominic.
Hi.
The ICE members in Minneapolis are violating the Fourth Amendment to the Constitution, which protects people from unreasonable search and seizures. They have no probable cause. They have no warrants. And all they're doing is racially profiling by dragging people out of their cars. If you look like a person of color, they stop you.
How do you know? How do you know? How do you know?
What do you mean?
How do you know if you look like a person of color, they stop you? How do you know? You don't know. You don't know. It's a talking point you have.
They're dragging people who they think are from elsewhere or might be illegal and searching them.
Jerry, how do you know?
Streets.
How do you know?
Well, I just watching all the film, all the tapes. All the
so that proves your point that this is happening. So what about the fact of the matter?
Happening.
Excuse me?
You think they have reasonable search, probable cause?
Hey, Jerry, I hope they round them all up. All of them. All of the Somalians. And get rid of them all.
Yeah. Get rid of them all. Generalize about a whole population.
Hey,
right. That's what you do.
Okay, so Jerry, what about the fact that 70% of the Somalian population is on public assistance some form? What about that, Jerry?
I'm not talking about that.
Oh, well, I'm talking about it. I want you to talk about it. No, I want you to talk about it. I want you to talk about it.
I don't even know if that's true.
Do you think they should come here and eat up American tax dollars like that? What about the $9 billion in fraud, Jerry?
Where do you get your 70% figure? Where do you get that?
Jerry, stop trying to play a lawyer with me.
I'm playing your game.
You're not playing my game at all.
Dominic is done with you.
Well, let's continue with that, because Pete is an absolute fool. Whoever that was, no, that was Jerry. That was not Pete. That was Jerry. Absolute fool. Take your liberal policies and shove them up your you-know-what, where the sun doesn't shine. How about that? You don't have to beep that, Matt Blaze, do you? We can say that. Can I say that on the radio?
I think you can say that, though. It's okay. You beeped yourself.
I beat myself.
Yeah.
They're violating the Fourth Amendment and they're rounding up people of color. How do you know? Matt Blaze, I'm just asking you, how does he know?
He doesn't know. He sees the tape.
Right.
Tape? Since when was there been tape? He goes, I've seen the film. Please.
I mean, if it's up to me, and it's not up to me, round them all up. Round them all up. Can I be any clearer? I don't want to see my tax dollars go to keep having these illegals have babies, and then the babies are American citizens. And we're on the hook for paying for the babies for 21 years. And then we're on the hook for locking up daddy for 25 years, 3 hots in a cot, and that's all on the American taxpayer. But, they're violating the Constitution. So, Matt Blaze, I ask you again, how does he know?
He doesn't know. And Dominic, you know as well as I do, being someone who was in journalism school, that you could take one piece of video and you could critique it, and on any side, you could take the exact same thing and see it different ways, which we have seen that has been happening. So you saw something. That's your opinion that you don't know. You weren't there. You don't know the angles. You don't know the context. Shut up, Jerry. Shut up.
Thank you. How about show some sympathy for the first ICE agent that was forced to use his weapon? How about showing some sympathy for the second ICE agent that was jumped by 3 of these animals? How about that? Dominic Carter here with you, folks. I want you to have a lovely day, a great day. I am back at 3 p.m. Eastern.
Thanks for listening to The Dominic Carter Show. You can hear The Dominic Carter Show weekdays at 3 p.m. and Monday through Thursday at midnight and Sunday starting at 11 p.m. on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?
Every week, the Payne family cuts straight to the real financial story.
The one question, Bob, everyone's asking is, are we in an artificial intelligence bubble? You've been through boom and bust. What do you think?
No hype, no myths. Just what actually matters to your money.
Does feel very similar to what we experienced in the 90s. Where are we, though? Are we in 1995, 1997, 1999?
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.